So I decided to do a little documentary on Baltimore from a woman's point of view, growing up in the inner city. Originally, I was born in Baltimore City. However, for my younger years, I lived in New Jersey, different parts of New Jersey. And we moved back to Baltimore when I was 8 years old, going on 9. And we moved in the Forest Park area, which is back in the day was considered middle class. It was a lot of Social Security people. That was the big place to work, Social Security and Spurs Point. And my stepfather worked at Spurs Point, and my mother worked for Social Security. And we came to Baltimore after my mother divorced. And then we moved from the Forest Park area to this area right here. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's called Whitelock, West Side. And I moved in this area from the time I was 11, 12 until I was graduated from high school. So this is the area, which I'll be filming some more of it later on. But anyway, when I moved into this area, we moved on 931 Brooks Lane. And when we moved to 931 Brooks Lane, there was a family that lived up the street from us who was considered to be a troublemaking family. And for the sake of names, I'm going to change their name. But I can tell you that the day that we moved into 931 Brooks Lane, as we were getting our things off the truck, we couldn't even hardly get out of the truck before they started to start a fight with us. And we were moving our things in. I'll never forget the group of little girls at that time. Didn't know it, but they said they were troublemakers. And I'm going to change their last names to Jones. But anyway, these Jones girls was bad as I don't know what. And they were nappy-headed and dirty, and their mouths were dirty. The stuff that came out their mouth was filthy. They were, obviously, they needed help. But anyway, me and my sister looked at each other, and we realized right then and there that we were going to have to fight. And we were grateful for the guys in the neighborhood at Forest Park on Fairview Avenue that taught us how to fight. They literally turned us into tomboys, because when we came from New Jersey, all we did was run. We ran. We didn't fight. We ran. We cried, and we just wasn't taught to fight back. We didn't pick with anybody. We didn't want anybody picking with us. We mind our business, and we went to school, and we were good kids. But when we came to Baltimore, we understood that it was a whole different ball game here, especially when you moved in this neighborhood right here. And that's where we lived. We lived at 931 Brooks Lane. And I'm telling you, 931 Brooks Lane, we could hardly get off the truck to get our stuff in this house. So that day, me and my sister, we moved our things in, and we strategized a plan as to if we got banked, if we had to fight individually, if we weren't together. At the time we had to fight, we just we made up a plan to cover ourselves, because we knew that this whole neighborhood right here was a different species, and we knew that we were going to have to defend ourselves, and we were prepared. We weren't afraid at all. And so that week, my mother sent us to the store. The first week we lived here, I don't even think we was here 7 days. And sure enough, she sent us to the store. And as we were walking to the store, she told us how to get there. She said, go down to Linden Avenue. When you go down to Linden Avenue, Just keep on walking straight and then make a left, and you'll see the store on the corner. She wanted us to get us some green peppers and onions or something else. So as we walking down Linden Avenue, taking a look at everybody that's outside, taking a look at the neighborhood, taking a look at what's going on, you know, seeing the people out. And at the time, this playground, we called the Whitelock playground, was nothing but just pure grass. They changed it to something else. But anyway, as soon as we got to this corner right here, of Whitelock and Linden Avenue, right here, there was nothing but stores down the street. As soon as we got to this corner, we watched a man get stabbed right in front of us. We knew right then and there this was not the place to play with. And we did not want to live here. We just simply did not want to move here. There were stores on both sides of the street. And we had Hurlin Brothers, Whitelock Supermarket, Jerry's Candy Store, Arundel's. We had there's a whole lot of different stores. Pool Table, which also had a record store in it. Laundromat, chicken box place on the corner. There's a lot of different stores on both sides of the street. And some of those stores had houses on top of it. But anyway, when that man got stabbed, we ran home, told our mother we didn't want to live around here anymore, and this was a bad place to live. Why did she move us to this neighborhood? She simply said, "You girls are too naive. You gotta find out what life is all about. It's a mean world out here. It's a crooked, hateful, mean world, and you guys been sheltered for a long time. It's time for you to find out what's going on. You gotta learn how to survive. You gotta learn how to take care of yourself. You gotta learn how to figure life out." So from that point, we started to learn what life was really about in the street. I'm just driving around the neighborhood so you can see. John Eager Howard Recreation Center is where I spent the majority of my life, between the ages of 12 to 16, every day. Of course, they gentrified this neighborhood and they changed the name. They even tore down Brown's. They're building some houses over here. But I remember the parties. It was nothing but parties here. And we can't forget across the street. If you can look way over and see that building, my aunt lived in that building. But that was Utah Street, Utah and McMicken. But Utah, we had 1919 Utah, anything that was over in them apartments across the street. We all mixed together and we played basketball and we danced and we did a lot of things in this community that brought us together. And they had a lot of parties in this community. I can tell you a lot of stories about the parties in this community. On this parking lot, they used to set up the DJ. We used to party right here in the parking lot. And John Eager Howard Recreation Center, we used to have parties in that building right there that they gentrified. To go around the corner so you can see it. Nothing but parties in this building. 50-cent disco parties, DJ. They sell little snacks. And this is what we had to keep us out of trouble. Because our generation, we partied and we danced. And we partied and we danced like no other generation ever. And our whole main goal was to have fun. Of course, we had the troublemakers. But we wanted to have fun. That was our main goal. Now, I'm not going to go up Linden Avenue. I'm not going to go up Linden Avenue. I'm going to go down North Avenue so you can see. Whenever you hear a story about Whitelock, you always hear it from the male point of view. You never hear it from the woman's point of view. You never hear what the women went through in this neighborhood, how we were. Some of us had to survive in this neighborhood. We weren't protected, some of us, the way we were supposed to be. But then some of the guys in the neighborhood, they were very good. They took care of their homegirls. They made sure no other guys came in the neighborhood and did things to their family members and made sure that the homegirls of the neighborhood was taken care of. But some of those homegirls didn't listen. She got themselves in a lot of trouble. So they were girls that I grew up with, I went to school with, who didn't make it. They gang raped, robbed, hooked on drugs, went to jail, murder, found in vacant buildings. A whole lot of them was found in vacant buildings. A couple of them, hooked up with drug dealer boyfriends that got them killed. And some of the drug dealer boyfriends even killed their own girl. And some of them was killing the females. But it wasn't common. You might hear a story there, hear a story over here, hear a story. But it wasn't an everyday thing. It wasn't all in the newspaper all the time. It wasn't in the news every day. We had the newspaper called the Afro. And the Afro would write about these stories, where you would hear about them on the news. But it was random. It was not every day. It was not one of those things that we embraced in the community, even though we were the ghetto, even though we were the hood, even though we were struggling, even though we were making it. That was not the type of things that you read about all the time. In fact, when I turned 16 years old, I ran away from home. And I started living with my drug dealer boyfriend, sister who lived with a kingpin. And at the time, I ran away from home. Their business was right here, Pennsylvania Avenue and North. This is real stuff was happening. And I'm talking about the real stuff. And nothing has changed. You can still find the same thing going on, except on another level. It was not like this. What you see right here, those drug dealers was about getting that money. They was about getting that paper. They were about setting up businesses. They were about making sure that they established themselves in the community. And this is how they did it. I'm going to share a little story with you. One day, I went to Frederick Douglass High School, and my boyfriend would hang down here on the avenue. And he's hang down here in the pool hall. There's a couple of pool halls down here. And I got out of school, came down to the pool hall, and I didn't see him. So I played a little game, the little Galactic games and the Pac-Man games that was in there. And there's a couple of guys in there shooting pool. And I seen this one guy I didn't see him for a long time. I went to elementary school with him. And I was happy to see him because I had a little crush on him. And I thought maybe he was dead and gone in jail. So I started talking to him a little bit. But I felt the energy in that room right here. It was not good. It really wasn't good. The energy wasn't good at all. So I went back over to my game. And sure enough, my boyfriend, he came in. And he looked at me. He said, "What you doing in here?" I said, "I was waiting for you." He said, "Here's some money. Go home. Meet me at the house." He said, "And don't come in here no more. I don't want you in here no more." I said, "Okay." So he said, "I'll meet you at the house at 8 o'clock. So I got down off the game. I got on the bus. I got home, and before I could get in the door good, the phone rang. And he said, "You home?" I said, "Yeah, I'm home. What's up?" He said, "As soon as you walked out that pool hall, a couple of guys got shot up." He said, the minute you came in there and left out, I came in there and you left out, some guys came and shot up the pool hall. Don't come down here no more. So I got home. When I got home, I went up to my room and I waited for him at 8 o'clock. And he told me, he said, listen, he said, what I'm doing, I don't want it to affect you and your future and what you got planned for yourself. He said, but I'm going to tell you this. He said, I'm working to get out of it. And he said, trust me, I'm getting out. And he had a job, but he was also messing around on the side. So I said, okay. As time went on, he became a security guard and he got out. But he started watching the stash instead of selling it. And that also became a problem because his responsibility was to make sure that nobody rolled up on them and took the stash. I'm going to share part 2.